Hello again, everyone. So here I am still sitting in this hotel room and playing around with Smart and some plugins. And I remember a few months ago, I got down the rabbit hole of the old tube and I happened to look at, I guess something that popped up was CLA Vocals, that plugin. It was a rant on, I use it all the time, it's in my start template. Another person say, I will never use that. Another one was so-and-so uses it all the time. Let's be honest here. You've probably heard it on songs hundreds of times and you just maybe not realize it. But one of the things against it was somebody was saying it does weird things with the phase or the mid side. I just won't use it because of that. So I thought let's find out what it does here. So I'm actually going to turn it on. And I'm going to turn on my reference here. So I've actually, blue is left and red is right. We don't need both of them. Let's see, the correct delay time? Yeah, 4 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds. I'm going to turn off the red one. We don't need it. And sure enough, so I've got this plugin in here. I've got all the stuff turned off, so it's just basically, right, delay time. So there's 4 milliseconds because it just the delay through the plugin. And let's see, frequency responses on the bottom. Let's look at what he's calling bass. Yes, there's a phase shift because it's EQ. So, all right, there's your sub. I'll just whack it to the top, and we'll step through to lower, and then there's the upper. So it kind of has a typical Q shelf kind of vibe going. There's obviously a high pass go on, probably down there. All right, and do the full cut on it. Yeah, off. There's your full cut sub. Full cut lower, full cut upper. All right, so put that guy back to 0 if I can. Let's look and see what the high EQ does, the treble EQ. Move this guy out of the way. I'll put it over here. All right, so there's bite. Bite looks to be about 6K. Yeah, that's pretty bitey. Top, yeah, that pretty much boosts all of them. And then you've got roof, which gives you the pull tech where it kind of cuts a little bit, typical shape, and then it starts to do that. So there's all that. I'm not going to do the cuts because it's very similar. The other stuff, compress, reverb, that's just going to, here, if you want to see it, I'll actually just turn it on because now we're looking at the difference between, let's see, green is the difference between them. So let me turn these off to get rid of some of the visual noise. I got to go back here because it's disappearing. All right, so if I remove that, if I turn reverb on, see that what it's doing is plotting the difference between left and right channels. You see all the little artifacts everywhere, and phase gets crazy, tight, large, off. Okay, here's delay. You're gonna see the delay kind of do some stuff in there. It's a slap. Okay, and then with your pitch, see how it kind of modulates through there. So it's moving. There's some movement, like an Eventide would do. There's a wide, there's a spreader, really messing with the face. Okay, so now that we've gone through all that cursory stuff, what I wanted to really try to figure out, because if you've been looking at it since I had this up here initially, is this phase shift. So I went after this with center, I went after it with plugins with mid-side, went after with S1 spreader, went after it with the spread section of the Abbey Road mastering. None of that did that. So what set me on the path to the in phase was actually using the input section of the Abbey Road mastering chain. You can say right side positive 90 degrees or left side positive 90 degrees. And that got me close to it. So there was that 90 degree phase shift, which I thought, oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's another one I can use to do this. Look at this. If I turn this off, I bring this guy in. Need a bigger desktop. Apologies for that. Full reset, huh? All right. Well, what if I go? What's my delay times here? Wrong button. My bad. All right. No delay times. Bring the in phase back up. Man, I sat here for like 15 minutes, twisting knobs, getting it to go. All that stuff. And here's what I landed on. Look at that. You pull that out of the way. So this little bit up here, that could be something that they modeled in where it's just cut the top end off a little bit. Could be just a slight low pass on the vocal thing. But look at that phase shift. So we're looking at blues. So we're working on left side. See what happens when I move this thing all around. And it gets really touchy as I move the bandwidth. And here's the delay time. So affecting that frequency and above, messing with the delay. So that looks really familiar to me. That's just a wrong delay time. But if I could just pull it back to what that is, yeah. So if anybody has in phase and wants to try this out, put on a vocal, see what it does up there. I don't have any vocal tracks with me right now to listen to, so I'm gonna put that on you guys. If anybody knows what it is modeled in that plugin, maybe there's an interview where he was talking about it. There's some of these interviews he talks about, it's this process, it's parallel, it's this component, it's this device, this effects unit, all that stuff. If anybody can find what's doing that phase shift, put it in the comments, because this is interesting. What's the advantage of it? Not sure. Not sure without listening to it. Maybe if I put it on a stereo track, vocal tracks, and just kick the phase shift in, maybe it'll give me something. I tried the Aphex Orlix, so all that stuff, just trying to find out what would do it. But apparently, it's just very slight shifting the high frequency above ahead, just 0.02 milliseconds is all it's doing. Interesting, huh? All right, keep moving.